we ready? Good morning, and welcome to CSL Beaumont this morning. My name is Siv Adams. I'm one of the practitioners here in Beaumont, and I'm going to lead this morning's meditation. I invite you all to take a deep breath in and breathe out. We are in the season of Advent. And Advent, for those of you that do not know, is a period in the Christian churches that is the waiting time for the birth of Christ. And I found a meditation by our Ernest Holmes called Waiting on Thee, and I thought that was most appropriate, so I'm going to start this meditation with that. So I invite you again to take a deep breath in and breathe out. I will read this, and then we'll have silent meditation. Waiting on Thee. Breathe in, breathe out. In waiting on Thee, there is fullness of life. I wait on Thee, my inner Lord. I listen for Thy voice. I hear Thy word. I do Thy will. Again I wait on Thee. And listening, I hear Thee say, be perfect, be complete, live, love, be glad. Sit thou in the stillness and let thy Lord speak. Be still and know that I am God. I am still in your presence. I am quiet and peaceful, for I put my trust in you. A glad stillness steals over me, and a great calm quiets my whole being. As I realize your presence, my heart knows of you, O Most High within. It is still in your presence, and it puts its whole confidence in you alone. In your presence, I am still. Sit thou in stillness and let thy Lord speak. I am still in your presence. I am quiet and peaceful. It is still in your presence. I invite you to take another deep breath in, breathe out, and slowly come back into this sacred space of the sanctuary. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. And I thank you for having joined me this morning for this meditation here. And at 10 o'clock, our service will start with Reverend Dr. Michael Curcuru. I hope to see you then. Thank you very much.
Hello. Good morning. It's definitely.
Welcome, everyone, to Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. It's a beautiful day here in Beaumont, and we want to let you know there's hot chocolate in the carafes, so you're welcome to help yourself to hot chocolate. You're welcome to help yourself to cookies. There's coffee in the kitchen if you want coffee, but hot chocolate on the table, so welcome. And if you are watching us online, if you come on down, if you're close by, we got hot chocolate, we got cookies, we got homemade chili, we got homemade cornbread, we've got tamales for lunch, so come on down this way. We've got good stuff for you. But we're glad you're online. We understand sometimes it's easier watching online than coming down here, but someday we hope to see you in person. And after service, everyone, we have a full lunch in Carter Hall, so stay and join us for that. And we ask you to take a moment right now and silence your cell phone. So if you got your cell phone handy, if you could make sure that's on silent, we would appreciate that. And now, any new visitors here? We got a couple new visitors back there. I know we have Stan and a couple other visitors, so welcome. We're glad you're here, and enjoy the day here at Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. So, we are going to go into our vision statement. And CSLB Vision is a world that works for everyone. That's what we're working on this holiday season. And after the holiday season is a world that works for everyone. And we know that that possibility already exists. If we hold it in our mind, it's already here. It's ours to see that. Purpose, awakening humanity to that spiritual magnificence that's not only within us, it's around us, it's all about us, it is us. So, awakening to our spiritual magnificence. Our mission, transforming lives one thought at a time. That's how we do it. If something shows up and you don't like it, change your thinking. It'll change your life, and that's how we do it. So transforming lives one thought at a time, sometimes one breath at a time, sometimes one heartbeat at a time. But we have the power to change our thinking and change our lives and create the world the way we want it to be. And so now we'll take a minute to say howdy neighbor. You can stand up and greet people, and hugs and handshakes, whatever feels good to you. So circulate a little bit, say hello, greet a neighbor, greet somebody you haven't known. Hi neighbor, how are you? I'm good. So yeah, give some hugs, give some handshakes, give some namastes, whatever you're comfortable with. Hey, Dorothy. I'm going to get her back here regularly, yes. She does. How are you? Good to see you. Hug, handshake. we did good. After the meditative song. It'll be the second one that George plays, and I'll call you up. Oh, so we'll go into our meditative song? Okay, you come up. All right, and so now while you're saying howdy neighbor, I'm going to invite George to go into our opening song today. So enjoy that as you're finishing your greetings.
Okay, so it seems like a lively group here this morning, so we're going to continue on that line with a congregational song to keep the energy moving. You might want to stand up. If you can dance a little, you can dance. If you can clap your hands and keep the beat, do that. If you can sing along, sing along. Now, the verse of this song you might not be as familiar with, and I'll sing that. You can sing along with me if you want, but you'll all know the chorus, so I expect you to come in really strong on the chorus, okay? I release and I let go. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the love of God was sufficient. Didn't know the grace of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go, and let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. By my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I release and I let go, and let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggles, no more strife. By my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Let's do it one more time. I release and I let go, and let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. By my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love.
Always
job.
good having George in the house. We're so grateful that he's here, and grateful that you're all here today. It's a good turnout, and so glad that you're here. So our first announcement is Volunteer of the Month is Charles. I don't know how to say the name. Chuck Imsande. That's as close as you're going to get. So we're honoring Chuck today for, I don't know how long, this is service for years and years and years, and stepping up into tech lead and learning about that. And he was showing me a little bit today. I said, how do you turn these computers on? How do you turn the cameras on? So I'm learning a little bit. Chuck's mentoring me a little bit. So we always pass on and step up and keep moving up the new positions and new experiences, and we really want to honor Chuck for doing that. So this month, we're shining our spotlight on a volunteer who came to CSLB to assist with our audiovisual. As Chuck learned and grew in his position, he was offered a position as Adrian's assistant. He quickly became a member of our CSLB family with his engaging personality, his desire to learn more about science of mind, and his helpful nature. He gets the coffee going. He did this morning, and I asked him to make a full pot Sunday mornings to help us all get going. He's always there to lend a helping hand. Chuck has excelled in AV booth and is now managing it on his own. He's a huge contributor in upgrading our sound booth and our production quality. I had 3 texts last week after the service how great the production quality was online. So I passed that on to Chuck, and let's again give him a round of applause for all that he does. Flower ministry, and these were, today the flowers were provided by Sharon Gillis. So Sharon provided these in our flower ministry, and again we'll let you know that the flower ministry is going extremely well, from Ross chewing his fingernails, and we're going to have somebody sponsor it today last year, to we are sold out until February 1st, so sponsored all the way through February 1st, so we're thrilled to announce that sponsorship from the community. And if you would like to provide flowers, we can do a second bouquet on a Sunday and show prosperity. So if you have one of those dates you want, come on up and we'll have 2 bouquets of flowers. So prosperity consciousness. Pardon? Oh, birthdays. We didn't get the birthday slide in here. So let's get through the announcements. At the end of the announcements, we will do birthday. Thank you. Good Grief Support Group every Thursday, 1 to 2:30 here. Coffee and conversation. We just had it in Carter Hall, and we had a full house in there. We had not enough room, and so I've been talking about getting a sliding door, and the board has in Carter Hall to separate one of those rooms for classroom. And I want to know prosperity is flowing all over the center, because I was talking to Lois, and Lois said that she would contribute up to $500 for a matching fund for us to match for a sliding door in Carter Hall. So let's get that going. We'll get that going, but I mean, prosperity is everywhere flowing here. So we're going to have a big classroom where 10 and 15 people can sit. So thank you, Lois, for sparking that and getting that going. And we really appreciate that generosity. Science of Mind discussion group, first Thursday of the month at Emmy's, and talk to Emmy about that if you need directions there. And Emmy's right over here at the front table. So Metaphysical Bingo is this Sunday. We're going up this Sunday, and right after lunch, we'll do Metaphysical Bingo, so come join us for that. We have great prizes and a lot of fun, so hope you'll stay after lunch for Metaphysical Bingo today. Movie night, The Next Voice You Hear, sponsored by Member Services. That will be coming up on December 10th. And that includes a dinner. So our All That Glitters Christmas Boutique, which Yvonne and Member Services sponsored and people donated here, Yvonne set the intention, and we set the intention to make $500, and the intention you set relates to the demonstration you get or you met. And we were over 5 at 5:30 in that range. Yvonne's shaking her head. We exceeded our intention. We set the intention of 500 or more, and we demonstrated 530, and that's how it works. When you set the intention, you get the demonstration. Perfect. And it was fun. Yvonne was having a blast out there, so it was a lot of work, but she was having a good time. We had a lot of people stop by. So thanks for donating and supporting that. Thank you very much. And so we have Living Menorah coming up. That is next Sunday. Can you believe how fast the year is going? So we have Jerry, a guest minister, speaking on Hanukkah and the Jewish tradition. I'll be doing a 10-minute introduction to that. And then I believe it's Member Services is providing a whole lunch afterwards with the Jewish tradition, Jewish flavor. So that'll be coming afterwards in Carter Hall. So stay for that. We are doing Divine Dining. Ross and I are hosting at our home on December 19th. And at 4:30, it will begin, and then after a dinner, we will be heading down to the Plaza Theater to see Bells, Brass, and Sass, the Gay Men's Choir. And we are doing prime rib and bacon-wrapped scallops and things like that. And if you need a healthier menu or a vegetarian or vegan menu and you want to come, sign up and let us know, and we will accommodate that. So we will accommodate whatever menu you need. So that's how that one's going to work. Whatever you bid on the silent auction, 100% goes to Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. 100% of your bid comes here. So that's how that works as a fundraiser. We have our Christmas Eve service with Al Yankee playing the music starting at 3:30 Christmas Eve, and again, a full Christmas Eve dinner here at the center, so join us for that. we have Kwanzaa coming up. Betty Ann's the lead on that one. And that is December, I think, 27th at 3 p.m., if I can read that correctly. So that's going on. And we have started something new, prayer. After the community here, we go into what we call the Om Room. It used to be called my office. Now it's called the Om Room. And we do prayer there. We do group prayer. And Adrian Madden will be leading group prayer today. So that's after service in the Om Room, which was my office, and Adrian Madden will be leading group prayer today. Stay and eat for our after-service community potluck. And today we are going to do Mission Impossible. It's our 5th week, but Tommy is going to come up and talk about prosperity and what it means to her. So right now I invite Tommy Jones, practitioner Tommy Jones, to come up and do her little talk about prosperity, and wherever it goes, we're going to go. Thank you, Tommy.
All righty. Good morning. Good morning. So I'm actually doing double duty today. I have been asked to talk about prosperity, but I'm also going to I'm going to do my power talk. My power talk really will lead into prosperity. So kind of go with me on it. All righty? All right. Ready? Yeah. Abracadabra. Presto, changeo. Shazam. Bibbidi, bobbidi, boop. As children, until we're told we shouldn't, we believe in magic. We believe in a world of possibilities and delight in seeing things seemingly appear out of nowhere. Or they appear because we have some superpower that enables us to will things into being. And we believe others also possess the same ability. However, as we get older, our belief in magic is discouraged or dismissed as magical thinking, a phase that children go through that they're expected to grow out of, to be normal. So then what is magic? The definition of magic is the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. Wait a minute. Isn't that science of mind? We believe God is the source of all there is. And we believe that we control conditions to some degree. We believe in prayer. We believe in cause and effect. We believe that the universe conspires for our highest and best good. So in a sense, there are similarities between science of mind, faith, magic, so it's just maybe semantics getting in the way. If you're old school, you may have heard, the Lord works in mysterious ways. And maybe you know the scripture that says, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. So like many of you, I stopped believing in magic because that's what grown-ups do. I replaced it with faith and my knowledge of principles. Then came a turning point for me. I still remember the day I learned I could believe in magic again. I was taking a class, Mary Mannon Morse's Prosperity Plus class. Although I've always been able to conjure money, at that time, I didn't nearly make as much money as I wanted to. But then I read this quote by Henry David Thoreau. And I took this class nearly a dozen years ago, but I keep this quote. And I keep it because it says, if one advances confidently in the direction of their dream and endeavors to live the life that they are imagining, one passes an invisible boundary. All sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. One meets with success in unexpected common hours. Bingo! Magic's back. I can believe again. So here's the thing, I guess, to say about it. We don't allow the magic to happen, though. We get in the way. We start second guessing what we believe in, what we know to be true. We hyper-focus on the outcomes and try to control the process, believing that we can guide what we believe is our heart's desire. The problem is a watched pot never boils. In practitioner training, though, we learn that we need to turn away from the condition. Why? Because the teachings are that what you think about, you bring about. And if we're thinking about lack, even trying to negate it, we still bring lack into our lives. So let me ask you, how many people know about compound interest? Yeah. Okay, so compound interest, it is earning on a principal, and then the earnings, they capitalize. So you end up making a lot of money, but you're not watching the pot. It's a complicated formula. I can't go into it because math is not my jam, but I can tell you that if you go along with the process, eventually you'll have a whole lot of money. Well, it's the same thing, and it's magic, right? It's magic. All of a sudden, you have a ton of money, and you didn't do anything to get it, right? It is that idea that the invisible boundary has been crossed, and you're meeting with unexpected success in uncommon hours. So then let's talk about Scripture. It says whatever you give comes back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So after taking the prosperity course, I began to tithe, even when I didn't think I could afford to, because I came to understand that if I gave, I would get. And I don't give to get, but it's just that law of circulation that it comes back to me. And magically, when I have turned away from those conditions that were seeming to bring about some kind of concern, poof, they're gone. So then putting that focus into something different, all of a sudden, I get a gift card. All of a sudden, somebody's sending me a check. All of a sudden, all these fantastic things are happening because of my focus on something bigger and better than me. In Scripture and in principle, tithing is 10% or more. So now let me talk to you about prosperity and the part where I get to explain about why I tithe. I tithe to this center in particular because that money goes to keeping the lights on. Because it supports the operation of this building that is a safe place for so many people. And it provides meals to persons who are less fortunate than me and who otherwise may not have something. I tithe because my grandparents were poor. I played in the dirt. I drank water out of the water hose because they were misguided in believing that old saying that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get to heaven. They didn't really understand the benefit of being prosperous, how it would help them and how it would help others. And so for me, to tithe is really this one thing. We call God the source of all there is. We say that we're born in the image and the likeness of Spirit, and we say that we have the Spirit indwelling. So for me, when I'm tithing, I am recognizing that it all belongs to God. It don't belong to me. Yes, I have a couple dollars in my pocket. In fact, I have a lot more than a couple dollars when I was taking that prosperity. But again, that magic of not focusing on what I don't have and just focusing on one step in front of me has helped me be financially prosperous. But you know where I'm more prosperous? Spiritually, I'm more prosperous than I've ever been in my entire life, because that giving spirit that is within me, that shares with other people, that makes me feel so much better than I ever thought it would. That's another reason why I tithe. I just feel good. Like James, is it James Brown or is it Marvin Gaye? Who cares? I feel good. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do it. So, to kind of end my talk and to end why I tithe, as I said, I recognize that it all belongs to God. It's not mine. But I also recognize when I release and I let it go, when I trust God is the source of all there is, then the magic happens. So I end this talk with bibbity boppity boop. So ends your talk.
Right now, and Chuck, let me see which way I'm going. If you can get us back to the Mission Possible slide is what we're looking for. There we go. And I'm going to invite Darla up. And we're going to need a microphone. So, Darla, if you want to come up and use this microphone, and I'll get you handheld. So, oh, it's up here? Tommy's got it. There it is, hiding right there. There you go, Darla.
Okay, am I on? Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here today. We get to do some announcements regarding our pledge campaign. And Marcia, first of all, I'd like to have you come on up with me for just a minute. Marcia is behind the scenes with this center day in and day out, helping us out, taking care of things. Every little piece of what happens goes through Marcia. And I just learned about Marcia a year ago when we met, and I just adore her. And what we want to do is I just want to take a moment to be able to thank Marcia for her contribution to the center, because you keep us all running, and all this money we're talking about in just a couple of minutes, you keep handling and keep moving and keep flowing, and your spirit touches it, and it just touches everything that comes through the center, and you're a big part of that. So I thank you for taking a few minutes of your time today. And here, Reverend and I brought you a little present, and it's inside there. And I know you're sitting there back going, I got work to do. So we kind of changed things up a little bit and did it this way to make sure we can have you come up here and be with us.
Thank you so much.
Oh, isn't she something? Just something.
There you go.
And, Reverend, if you wouldn't mind, I left my basket. Bippity boppity boop. Here it is.
And there it is. Magically it appears.
And what we'd like to do now is take just a moment. We're going to be drawing the names again of people winning. And if you don't mind coming up with us to help part of the celebration. Also, go ahead and open up your little baggies. Have you guys got your bags opened up with your party blowers? Oh, don't forget. What'd you say? The name?
That's for Siv.
Siv Adams.
Siv, come on up.
Siv, yay, you won. And again, remember, this isn't just a coffee mug. This is a symbol. This is a symbol of what's possible. And we want to thank you very much for your contribution and becoming a pledger for us. And if you stand along the front, go ahead. And I'll have you stand up here with us. Just make a line over there, because we've got a few of these.
All right.
These are just random. Thank you. Thank you. Again, these are not just coffee mugs. Bippity boppity boop. What's your magic? What's your possibility? Deborah O'Shane.
Debbie, come on
Debbie.
up. Debbie, come on up. Grab a coffee
win.
mug. Come on up.
As a pledger, you win a coffee mug.
And we're drawing from people who've turned in their pledge form. So these are all people who have pledged in 2026.
Would you mind handing that? Oh, here we go. Thank you so much. And here's another one. You want to read the name?
This is Marcia Becker.
Okay, Marcia. We're going to let Marcia be another draw because we just gave her something.
Okay. Oh, this person not present. We want people present. That one, no.
We want to have people present because we want the nice big photo up here.
Aha! We have Donna McNeese Smith. So I will bring the coffee cup to you.
Okay.
Yay! All right, Donna. Thank you for pledging.
There we go.
Really good to see you in
The
person.
party's in the house. All right, Donna.
And so, as Darla said, it reminds you that when you say yes, anything is possible. So there's your Mission Possible pledge. Thank you for making this mission possible at Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont for so many years. I don't know if I can do this one. This might be nepotism, but I'm going with it.
Go for it. Why not? He deserves it. Ross, come on up.
If this isn't a conflict of interest. But I really wanted a coffee cup, so I'm going to borrow his.
Thank you for your many contributions to the center. Thank you so much. Another bippity boppity boop. Who's next?
I wanted a coffee mug, and we've got one. This may be accepted by, if this is okay, this is Dean Jackson, and that's Tommy's mom, so I think Tommy will accept it on behalf of Dean. All right, if that's okay.
Oh, wonderful.
So our
Wonderful.
mission possible,
All right.
mission
See?
accomplished, and I said yes, and I did it. Thank you for helping us do that. There you go. That's for your mom.
And bippity boppity boop. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your contribution.
This person is not present. This person is present in the tech booth. It's Adrian Madden. You have
All
won a coffee
right.
cup. Come on down, Adrian.
Woohoo!
Mission possible. Adrian said yes. Thank you. There you go. Thank you so much.
And thank you for saying yes on so many things you do here at the center, Adrian. That's a thank you for the pose. We're going to get some pictures in just one quick second. Who's the last winner here?
And this is Jack Burnham, who is present today.
Oh,
so Jack, come on down.
Yay for
Yay,
Jack. Oh, we love you, Jack.
So
Thank
there you
for
go,
all
your
you
Mission
do.
Possible mug, and we're going to get a photo over here, I think.
Yes, let's have a photo.
So Vaughn's our photographer
again-
today.
These are just a group of our contributors. Of course, there's many more of you, and we want to thank all of you for making our magic happen today. Because bippity boppity boop, the center is alive and well, isn't it? Yes, it sure is. Woohoo! Thank you. Woohoo! Okay. Watch your steps. Thank you. You're
We
gonna
need a
what?
tall person. We need a very tall person.
We'll trade places.
Okay. And so we now have the results of our 2026 pledge campaign. We thank all of you, all the members who've pledged and win. And there are people who support the center and don't make an annual pledge, so we thank you as well. But we wanted to remember that the intention we set is the demonstration we get. And if you remember 5 weeks ago, we were talking about 100% of our goal. And that day I said, Science of Mind is about adding 10%. 10% is the magic number in Science of Mind. 10, 10, 10. That's what our teaching is about. That's what Spiritual Principle is about. So that very first week, we raised our intention to 110%. And I will let you know, we did not make 100%. We did not make 110%. So I'm going to give Darla the figure, and Darla, you'll read it. We did not make 100. We did not make 110.
And here, drum roll, bippity boppity boop, our magic's happening. Our magic's happening right now. Thank you. Because this center, because of you, because of our community consciousness, and because of our spiritual consciousness, this center today, as of today, at this moment, has raised 132% of what our goal was. Whoa, woo, where's the blowers? How about? Thank you. As somebody who's done some campaigning in my time, I just want to tell you how rare this is. The rarity to be at 132% of any campaign is just amazing. And it's spiritual consciousness, it's spiritual awareness, it's living with abundance, and with practicing community support with each other. This is our home. look at all of you. You're at home right now, aren't you? You're at home, and you're supporting your home. And 132% is beyond what, what our vision was at the beginning of this. And I just wanted to congratulate all of you because you just show what this community means to us and to each other. So 132%. We did the balloons up high because we busted up the thermometer. Okay, there was only went to 100%, but we went 132%. We busted it up. So thank you so much. Congratulate yourselves. Yay.
Thank you. And we want to give Darla a round of applause because she was the mastermind behind our Mission Possible campaign. And it just made it a whole lot of fun and kept reminding us of how much fun it can be. And as Tommy said, it feels good when you have enough and you know you have enough and you share that. So that's what the center's about. That's what Science of Mind is about. And what a demonstration. It's an amazing demonstration. So thank you for the community support of the center. I know we're doing good work. I know we're going to do great work in 2026, and we're already starting to say 2026, our best year yet. So get ready. We're just starting to rock and roll here. So today in our Thursday class, we have Journey of the Soul. And I'm going to wander a little bit and test the tech team on the new cameras if they can follow us. And we talked about in there this week about looking at the experience of our life, whatever that is, one experience of our life right now. And then we took a look at finding a way to excavate that experience. So we look at an experience that happens, and then we excavate it. We go beyond the surface of that experience into what's deeper, what's really happening underneath that experience. And then from the excavation, we go into expansion. So what we were talking about in class this week was I had an experience, and then I excavated it. I went beyond the surface, and then I realized as I understood something new from that excavation of that experience beyond the surface level, I came to expand in my life to a whole new awareness. That's Science of Mind for me. And so we're going to do something we've done once before at the center, and Dr. Joe does it pretty regularly, once a quarter at Palm Desert. He used to for years, and it's called Pick a Page. And we did it today in our Science of Mind study group. And so I'm going to ask someone to pick a page, and I will read from that page, and then we're going to take a look at how that might apply to an experience in our life, how we might excavate that, and how we might come to a new awareness. So anyone have a page number that's coming to them from our Science of Mind text? 15? Did I hear 15? Let's see what's on 15. So we're going to go here. Within us, and this relates to what Tommy was sharing, within us then, and the first part of our book is called The Thing Itself, because Ernest Holmes doesn't want to label it God or Muhammad or Jesus. He calls it the thing itself. And we talked in our class this morning about it being currency, that it's really a currency of consciousness. And so let's see how this relates from the first part of the thing itself, or what we talked about as the currency of consciousness today in our study group. Within us, there is a creative field, which we call the subjective mind. Around us, there is a creative field, which we call subjective. One is universal mind, and the other is individual mind. But in reality, they're the same. It's one mind. There is one mental law in the universe, and where we use it, it becomes our law because we have individualized it. It is impossible to plumb the depths of the individual mind because the individual mind is really not individual, but it's individualized. It's all one mind, but you make it your mind by the way you see things, by the way you believe things, by the values you bring into it. So it's not an individual, but an individualized mind. Behind the individual is the universal, which has no limits. In this concept alone lies the possibility of eternal, and this is very interesting, eternal and endless expansion. Everyone is universal on part of our life and the individual at another part of our life, but it's all conscious perception. The riddle is solved, and we all use the creative power of the universal mind every time we use our own mind. And so what I like about this, it talks about endless expansion. And that endless expansion can come in terms of our physical well-being. There's no end to the amount of physical well-being that we can experience. So when we take a look at our physical body, and we come to experience something in it, and we come to realize that that experience is teaching us something about the way we are being present with our human body. If we wear the wrong shoes and we have sore feet that night, and we're really tired because we chose to wear shoes that maybe were really fashionable. I've never worn high heels. I don't care what the rumors are that you hear people saying. I've never worn high heels, but I hear that they can be really uncomfortable. But we see people wearing 6-inch high heels because they want to be taller, they want to have a good appearance. But what we know is that throws your back out and your spine out. It can. And so the choices we make create the reality of our body, comfort or discomfort, pain or ease, healing or illness. So it's always our choice. How are we treating our body temple? How are we treating the temple of our home, our physical home? And the way we treat our home and the way we treat our body all reflects our science of mind consciousness. So if we see that we have a limitation in our body, limitation is usually contraction. When we have a contraction, pain is contracted energy, it's condensed energy. When we have a contractive energy in our body, we're contracting it and closing it in. We experience financial hardship. And when we experience contraction in our life and closing down our heart, perhaps because of a hurt and we close down our heart, then we close down to a lot of other relationships. And we are social beings. It's really important for us to connect with one another. And so when we move from that contraction into the excavation of why am I withdrawing? Why is this energy trapped in my body? It's always a thought pattern that we're holding, that I'm not worthy of expansion, that I'm not worthy of excellent health, that I'm not worthy of an abundant home. And so when we take a look at it on the excavation level, we can see that our thoughts created that contraction, and we can change that thought and move into expansion, and that's science of mind, moving from the experience of sore feet from tall heels or financial lack because of a thought that we're not worthy, or into a home that may not be exactly the way we'd like it to be. It all begins with the thoughts beneath the surface. And as we change our thinking and change our lives, we begin to see it manifest in our life in the outer world. So that's what Ernest Holmes is talking about here in the universal mind and the individual mind, and aligning our individual mind with that universal mind, which always says yes to our every request, and that's expansion. The universe always says yes to our every request. Any questions, any thoughts about that? Anywhere you've seen that demonstrate in your life? Shanna.
Well, let's just use birth, for example. I mean, expansion, contraction, and then boom, miracle.
The miracle of birth, expansion, contraction. And I don't really know science that well. That's not my forte. But how about the Big Bang Theory? I know it was expansion and then a Big Bang Theory. So in a sense, same thing, birth, expansion, contraction, and then a whole new birth and a whole new vision. We can see that of universes being created from the Big Bang Theory coming, and from this, a great explosion of constellations and stars in the universe. So that's what we're talking about, from the finite of contraction to the infinite of expansion. And we can see it in the universes, we can see it in newborn birth in a lot of ways, from contraction to expansion. Anyone else have a page? 152. 152. Let's see what's on there. And it's interesting in our lives when we are willing to let things fall into our life, when you walk by a bookshelf and a book falls off, or a thought falls into your mind and you honor it, how that's really divine guidance for us, spiritual guidance, when we go with our intuition. So we can't always think our way through problems, but we let the awareness that Spirit's always there guiding us all the time, then our life becomes more inspired, and we live a much higher level of awareness. So 152, prayer is essential to happiness. And we say happiness is a decision I must make. So it says prayer is not an act of overcoming God's reluctance. It's not like, God, why are you withholding from me? God, why are you not giving to me? It's not God's reluctance in Science of Mind, but it shifts us, prayer shifts us into an active acceptance, and I love that. We're not overcoming God's reluctance because God is not reluctant. God is resilient and resourceful. God is everything. And so it's not Spirit's reluctance that we're not experiencing this flow. It's our resistance to it. And so he says prayer moves us from reluctance into active acceptance. What are you willing to accept in your life? How much good are you willing to accept in your life? And one of the ways we accept more good in our life is by visualization. So you can think about something, you can create a visual image in your life, you can create yourself in perfect physical health, you can image yourself in the perfect relationship, in the perfect environment, in the perfect home, in the perfect state of spiritual well-being. And he further says that it's our highest willingness that brings forth a higher calling of awareness. So how high is our calling? How deep is our faith? And we talk about this in Science of Mind as having a faith beyond any faith you've ever known before. Mary Morrissey says, when you think you've done everything you can, when you've gone as far as you can, when you've tried everything you possibly know you can try to get a resolution, and you're not getting that resolution that you want in your life, you're not getting that result that you want in your life, and Ernest Holmes says it's because we aren't going to our highest willingness. We might be at a low level of willingness, a medium level of willingness, but we're not going to our highest level of willingness. How willing are you to receive? And what we say in Science of Mind, and I like, your willingness to believe creates your willingness to receive, and that creates your ability to achieve. So that which we think about, we bring about, but it's from a highest state of calling, beyond any calling we've ever known before. It's that high state of calling of that consciousness where it's happening in, as, and through us. We talk about 4 states of victim consciousness. Victim, stage 1, it's happening to me. Stage 2, it's happening for my highest good. And this is moving into the higher states of consciousness. This is moving into our higher states of calling. This is moving into our highest willingness. And we do it by looking at victim consciousness. It's happening to me. They did it to me. Then we move from stage 1, and this is moving into our highest calling. It's happening for me. Okay, I don't see the good in this moment. I don't see the good in this experience, right? We're talking about experience here. We're talking about, I do not see the good in the experience of my checking account being negative $112. I don't see the good in that experience, but if we're willing to excavate that experience and take a look at it from a spiritual perspective, here's what's going on. In the universe, whenever you create a void, the universe fills every single void. If you are in the absence of love in the moment, the universe always fills every void fully with love. If you're financially lacking, when you create the void, it opens up the possibility for Spirit's highest willingness to create prosperity. So from the appearance of lack, we're really talking about that higher calling of limitlessness. And that's what this is talking about here. And he says, Emerson says, that a prayer is a study of truth. A prayer is a study of the spiritual truth behind the apparent reality. And he said it also, prayer takes us into the soul of our unfounded infinite. Ooh. Wow. I don't recall reading the soul of our unfounded infinite. That's our highest calling. And so let's take a look at that term, the soul of our unfounded infinite, and how that might work in our life. If we look at the unfounded infinite of our soul, which is totally open, undescribed, pure essence, pure energy, pure flow, pure love, uninhibited, if we look at it as a foundry, maybe if we start to look at our soul as a foundry, and it's a foundry from which we can create anything. It's the foundation from which we create everything. And it's that foundation of faith of a higher calling. I feel that our soul is the the essence and the embodiment and the excellence, and I love that term, passion for excellence. I think in our soul is this passion for excellence, for an exuberant life, for an exceptional life, and for an expansive life. And so in the unfoundedness of our soul is the possibility of creating the foundry of anything we choose to create. So we can take that unfoundedness, that infinite energy of our soul, and we can found it into something through our highest willingness and our highest calling, into something that we would like to see manifest on this plane. So always look at science of mind as a foundry, a possibility of taking the invisible and making it visible. And in our soul is the infinite of everything. It's the infinite of prosperity. It's the infinite of possibility. It's the infinite of presence. And I think that is what prayer takes us to on a good day, the infinite of presence. And on a bad day, prayer gets us closer. It may not get us all the way to where we think we want to be, but prayer always gets us closer. And I think this teaching works really well when you don't have to have it jump leaps and bounds, right? But when it goes breath by breath and heartbeat by heartbeat and thought by thought, one at a time, 1 inch at a time. You know, I love this story about if our soul is light energy. Maybe. What is it for you? I think it could be light energy. And I love the story about inch by inch. And it's a story, and you've heard it here before because I've told it before, about a gentleman who wants to drive cross country. And it's nighttime. And he says, but my headlights only shine 300 feet ahead. I can only see 300 feet ahead. How am I going to get from Los Angeles to New York? And the person he's with says, you drive 300 feet. You drive as far as you can see. You drive as far as you can see. And then guess what? You're at the end of the 300 feet, but you're at the beginning of another 300 feet. And isn't that maybe what he's talking about in our highest calling? Maybe we start at a lower calling of, it's happening to me, and we don't see very far. We can't see past the edge of the darkness. And then we see stage 2 of our higher calling and our higher willingness. And we see stage 2, this is happening for me. That void in my checking account is opening up for a huge inflow of energy from Spirit. And sometimes if we hold that possibility, it's exactly the way it works. And then stage 3 is, in consciousness, that higher calling of faith, that higher calling of hope, that higher calling of peace. And stage 3 is, it's happening through me. It's happening through me. If I'm willing to let it flow, if I'm willing to let that light source of my soul flow, it will guide my way beyond the edge of any darkness. And you know what I'm beginning to get? When you get to the edge of it, there's no more darkness. That's the light of our soul. You know, the light of these candles is going to burn out. I think they're like 35 hours burn time. At the end of 35 hours, that candle's going to burn out, but the light of your soul never will. The light of when you come from the light of your soul, the higher calling, the higher willingness, the higher faith, the knowing beyond knowing of your soul, you will come from a light energy in which there will never be an edge of darkness again. There will never be an experience of illness again. There will never be an experience of poverty again, and there will never be an experience of war again. When we come from the light of our soul, there are no more edges of darkness. There's only this eternal light in which everything is lit with that energy, that frequency, that vibration of love and faith and hope. And so I think when he talks about the unfounded infinite, I love that term. Good talk title. The unfounded infinite. What is it for you? Where did you experience it in your life? We've all experienced it. What's the unfounded infinite for you? Because whatever it is for you is exactly how it's going to show up. So that's why we go to power of prayer. Notice what you're noticing. Notice the experience. And then look into that experience to see beyond the surface level of the experience. And then come to an expansion of consciousness in your life, which expands your life on this plane and all planes at once. So that's how we move from the experience through the excavation into the expansion. Shannon, you look like you have a question. Nope. Good. So anyone here have an experience of where you thought you were at the edge of darkness and you found out you really weren't? Somewhere. You thought you were at the edge of darkness in some way, and you found out you really weren't. You really weren't. That there was a light that was guiding you and gifting you and gracing you. And I think that's part of the holidays. So much talk about light at the holidays. So many faiths talk about light and candles and flames. So that's what we're talking about, that unfounded infinite of our soul, which perhaps is a light that guides us to a place where there are no more edges of darkness. There's maybe only the eternity of the expansion of a light in which we see things anew. We see things anew. Pick a page. Anyone else got to pick a page? You got a number, Donna? Any number comes to mind? 333. Okay, let's see what 333 has in store. So now, interestingly, this book is divided into 4 parts, and this begins part 4, and it's called The Perfect Whole, and it's called the invisible whole within which we are all of its parts at once. So the perfect whole, part 4, the indivisible whole within us in which we are all of the parts at once. And so he says, it opens up on page 333, what is a mystic? A mystic is not a mysterious person, but is one who has a deep inner sense of life and of unity with his wholeness within. Mysticism is entirely different from our normal reality. The normal reality we see, it's not an illusion, it's real, but it's not the reality beyond the reality. And in ministry school, this is something that helped me understand this, about the invisible becoming present. We were talking about this material plane being called forth from the infinite invisible into the finite visible. And people were saying, well, is this an illusion, this life plane? And other teachings say this is an illusion. There's only the divine realm. This is a complete dream we're living in. This is not real. But Science of Mind, and one of my profs said, and it really brought clarity to this part of our teaching, if you get up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water and it's 2 o'clock at night and you're not shining from your soul light, so it's really dark in the room and your room light's not on either, and you stub your toe on your dresser and you get the glass of water and in the morning you wake up and your toe is throbbing with pain. That dresser is not an illusion. It's very, very real on the human realm. So Science of Mind said this realm is as real as the spiritual realm. Other teachings say this is an illusion. But your toe is throbbing. So that dresser and this table appears to be very, very real. But when we come from the mystical realm, we come from the knowing, and it goes back to the prior question, that in the unfounded infinite of our soul is this undefined energy. And from that undefined energy within us, we can call forth anything we choose to call forth without. It's ours to mold that energy. It's ours to be present with that energy. It's ours to choose to form that energy of the formless into whatever we want to choose it to form into the infinite. And that can even relate to the cellular structure of our body. You've got a cold. If you've got an ache in your back, all of that relates to contraction of energy. And the infinite always wants to expand. So if you go into a prayer treatment, which you talked about the power of prayer, to release that contracted energy, wherever it is in your back or a sore shoulder or a cellular structure in your body you want to change, from the mystical level of awareness, you can change your cellular structure. You can change the temperature of your body. You can change the entire consciousness of your presence through the power of deliberate choice. So prayer leads us to the awareness that we have this infinite energy within, call it the unbounded energy of our soul. And then through our intellect, we can say, I can choose to form that formless into any form I want. And that can be the form of money as energy. Energy flow is money, energy flow is wellness, energy flow as relationships, energy flow as abundance. So this is talking about the mystics know this. And it says a mystic is one who intuitively perceives truth, capital T, without mental process and arrives at spiritual revelation. That's particularly interesting to me today, that you arrive at spiritual truth without any process. 5 steps of prayer is a mental process. And I was working with one of my mentors, Kathy Hearn. We worked together once a month. And she asked me how often I prayed. And you don't say this to the dean of ministry, but I said, I don't pray. And she said, how long have you not prayed? And I said, for as long as I can remember, I've not prayed. And she said, well, tell me how that works into our 5 steps of prayer. I said, what 5 steps of prayer? And she said, I need more information. Can you excavate this for me, right? Can you go from the experience of I don't pray, but I get these results? How do I excavate that? And I shared with Kathy in our conversation that what I came to was, for me, the 5 steps of prayer is a template. It's a template. It's not temple. Don't let the template of the 5 steps of prayer, do not mistake it for the temple of your soul, because it is not. Do not mistake it for the temple of spirit. It is not the temple of spirit. Our 5 steps is a template. It's a process. And it's a process that eventually leads us to letting go of the process itself and just being present. So it's a template that leads you to the temple of the presence of that eternality of your soul. It's a place you no longer pray from. It's a place where your life becomes the prayer. It's a place where every breath becomes a breath of new life. And I became aware in this teaching, what happens when you take your last breath when we're doing doula work and hospice work? How do you share with someone who's ready to take their last breath that it isn't their last breath? It's their first spiritual breath. When you release your last, this is what I believe. And I'm pretty sure, Ernest, we'd have a good conversation. When you release your last human breath, your next breath is your spiritual breath. And it's a breath of all new awareness, all new awakening, all new places. And so there never is a last breath. And that relates to our teaching, life is eternal, immortal, and continuous, because the breath of God never leaves us. It's a transition. And so Kathy and I were sharing, and I said, I don't pray anymore, but prayer seems to move in as and through me. It comes from that experiential place of knowing your body, knowing your mind, knowing spirit. It's a pretty amazing place to be. When you no longer do the work, and you let go of all of the work, and you get to experience the wonder. And Dorothy has her hand up. What is going on?
No, I have a question, because I've always been intrigued about mystics. So my question...
Can everyone hear? Should I grab the microphone? Everyone's good? Okay.
Can you hear me well? Yeah.
Okay.
My question is...
And this is for everybody. This is not just for me, so...
Is one a mystic through study and practice, or is that a mystic inherent? Is it something you're born with, possessing that intuitiveness? That's my question.
So that's a great question. And you asked it from such an inquisitive level. You asked it kind of from a soul level. I don't know if you noticed your voice and your presence. You were asking it from deep inquiry. You weren't going, well, you were asking it from deep inquiry, and I felt that. So I want you to be aware of the realm from which you asked that. It was from an excavated level. I really want to know this. It was more from a soul level. So can you read and study and become a mystic? Or are you born a mystic? Who has a thought on that? Marcia?
I think we're all mystics. You can read it, tap into what is already there. Some people have already done that, and they're just born with it in the open. But in my own life, I wasn't born a mystic. But I was born as Scorpio, which is very introspective. I've always been a very introspective person. And then as I matured in my life and birthed an organic spiritual life beyond religion, I became a mystic. I am a mystic. Because I feel like, the best way to describe this, I feel like I have a periscope over my head, and I can look down, I can look through my eyes at this level, at the same time I can see myself from above. So I have a dual perspective on just about everything that occurs, except when I go human once in a while from watching the news or something like that.
Your perspective kind of narrows.
So, I'm human.
Contracts.
I'm human, but my natural inclination is that space. And I think that's a space that goes back to nope, it's not the process. It's not the template, it's the temple. And that's how I experience manifestation. I don't ever ask for anything. I just believe in the grace of God. And out of that, and out of a deep connection with my soul, the actions that need to take place, and the manifestations that take place need to take place too. So it's not willful anymore. Anyway, that's kind of how I see it.
Anyone else? I mean, that was a phenomenal response. Did that resonate with anyone? Now look at George, how many people you resonated with. Siv, do you have something? I'll come back to you, Debbie, in a second. Siv, do you have something you want to share on this?
Yes, that resonated with me.
It resonated.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because the prayer is, we pray for something that we think are the best for us, but we don't necessarily know what's best for us. So when you come to where George is, then it's a whole other level. So you best pray, my suggestion is, pray for what's my best good and what's best for all. And it would just come, it's an automatic there with George, I think, but that's just the best prayer advice I can give, yeah. But that really resonated with me, thank you.
And Siv, if you have any doubt if prayer works, you spend about 5 minutes with Siv, and you won't have any doubt anymore. If you want a manifested prayer, all our practitioners are good here. Siv is remarkable at being present with you, and each practitioner is present with in their own way. But Siv has an amazing presence. Amazing presence. Yes.
I think it's a spiritual evolution. I think that we all have that within us, but for some people it just becomes evolved. Some people it doesn't.
Yep.
Sandy says it's about evolution, and some people evolve and some people don't. In a way, how can we see evolution in human realm? And we see it, we talked about it, the caterpillar, right? The caterpillar to the butterfly. That's evolution that we can see in physical form. So that's probably very likely a demonstration of the butterfly of our soul is evolving. We don't quite know what the caterpillar of our soul looks like yet when we identify that, and very possibly, we talked in our study group this morning about fear. And I think what I'm beginning to experience, thank you for taking to the experiential. Dorothy, thank you for bringing this to the experiential with your question. I'm getting this for myself right now. I think the caterpillar, and I'm pretty certain this is right for me now, the caterpillar of my soul is fear. That's the caterpillar that's the caterpillar of consciousness that the universe is inviting me to release my fear into the greatest faith or greater faith than I've ever known. And I think that's the caterpillar of my soul, is the consciousness of fear, that I get to move from that contraction into the excavation of awareness that the caterpillar might be fear. And as I excavate that, I can go, wait a minute, I have the power of choice to evolve that vibrational frequency of fear into that expansive expression of light to where there is no edge of darkness anymore. So what's the caterpillar of your soul? What's the caterpillar of your soul? What's keeping you from the next stage of evolution. Anybody?
But I'm getting some strong vibes here that, and I don't like to call anyone out.
About Dorothy saying there are some strong vibes here.
Strong vibes I'm getting from Shannon. That she has something to share.
So now let's see if Dorothy's really a mystic evolving, or if it's just some crazy idea that it looks like there's a mystic evolving back there.
Going back to your question about mystics, I think that it's both. I think people are inherently born mystic and they just have a knowingness. And then I think anyone in meditation and a spiritual practice can become enlightened as well. So I think it's both. You know? And you are a mystic too. You definitely are.
So right now, how many people can feel a shift of energy in this room? Show of hands. That's taking the experience of a Sunday service and topping the charts on our pledge campaign. That's taking that experience, which was experiential, and we went through Ernest Holmes and we kind of excavated something in here, right? And I think that the term that opened this up for me was the unfoundedness of our soul. The unfoundedness, which can become the foundry of anything you want it to be. What foundry do you want your soul to be? What foundry? Is it a foundry of faith? Is it a foundry of love? Is it a foundry of light? Is it a foundry of hope? And you know what? I think when we find our caterpillar or our soul, and we all have them, when we release that, I think we end up being a butterfly of connectivity. You know, there are people that are called butterflies. They can hop around any room and talk to anybody very comfortably. Oh my God, that person's a butterfly. I think that's maybe where we're all evolving to. Being so comfortable with what's in our soul that just in our presence, we're comfortable with everybody else's soul where they are. And I think that might go back to our opening statement about we're individual, but mostly we're individualized. And I think we're individualized through the uniqueness of our soul. Not through our physical appearance, blonde hair, black hair, tall, short, male, female, Catholic, Methodist, rich, poor. I think our commonness is our soul, our common connection. But I also think it's our place where we individualize that exactly as we want it to be individualized. And I think what our soul is yearning for, and I think what America is yearning for, and I think what Europe is yearning for, I think the bottom line of this talk today, which didn't have a bottom line or a top line, I'm pretty sure where this Spirit's guiding us today, guiding me today, this whole journey is about connection. I think this whole journey is about clearing anything away, caterpillar of your soul, to where you become this conscious connection. And that can be a conscious connection of love, a conscious connection of light, a conscious connection of faith. But I think what this whole teaching is about, and I think what this whole planet is yearning for right now, is connection, first with ourselves and then with others. And that ties perfectly into our Science of Mind teaching of oneness and unity. I think what we're all searching, and if we stop searching and just know it's already there, the journey will be a lot shorter. It's already there. It's already there. So thank you for doing Pick a Page today. We do it once in a while. Thank you. You know, you never know where it's going to go. And I was driving here and I said, Ross, I have work to do. I know you all knew that, but I was informing Ross that I still have work to do this lifetime. I was feeling so insecure because I didn't have a scripted talk. And I realized that your scripted talk can actually become keeping you from the connection of your soul. I went, oh my gosh, I don't have that. So thank you for letting me let go of the need to have a scripted talk. It was a breakthrough for me, so thank you. Thank you very much. And now, I guess we are going to our post-talk song.
Okay. So
Abracadabra.
This song is called The Goodness of God. It's a Christian song. I think when you think about frequency, the frequency of religion, this song is probably written from the frequency of religion, but in my mind it's very easy to translate it into a higher octave. So just like you translate a song into a different key, I translate the words that might not be the way I would describe things now into the language that I understand them now. And so I hope that you can do that with this song because it's very beautiful and it's very moving.
And George, can I take just a second? I don't want to interrupt the flow that he had, but in our Science of Mind study group today, we ended up talking about frequency and vibration. Can you see how Spirit dovetails us? So thank you.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. It has led me through the fire. In darkest night, you are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. Oh yes, you have. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. My life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. My goodness is running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every step that I am able, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing, 'cause all my life you have been faithful. 'Cause all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God.
So I think we're always guided and gifted and graced when George is here. I mean, his beautiful voice, his beautiful song, and he always knows just what to pick to tune into the frequency of the talk and the frequency. So it was about frequency today. And I've been told that someone is watching us from Las Vegas, a friend of Tommy's and Siv's and mine and Ross's that we haven't seen in a while. And so Barth Norton, we hear that you're watching from Las Vegas. So we're thrilled that you're watching. Tune back in again. come visit us in person when you're in California. But big shout out to Barth. We're so glad you're watching today. And Ross and Darla's reminded me of our beautiful poinsettia tree. And part of that, it's a memory tree. So we invite you for $20 to buy a poinsettia in honor of a loved one or a faith or a new job or a newborn or a career. And we have a sign-up sheet out there. And then at Christmas Eve service, we will have a list of all the people who pledged and the bought a poinsettia and the name of the person they bought it in honor of, and we'll have that as part of our candlelight service. So if you want to be in the program and to remember someone or to celebrate something new happening in your life, $20 for a poinsettia, and we appreciate your support of that tree, and it'll be a beautiful part of our Sunday or our Christmas Eve celebration. And so now it's time for our giving statement, and we know that CSLB can give, because we saw that over here. So we know that there's no problem, that we are not constricted at CSLB. That was a marvelous demonstration of this community, appreciating the community, and being really legacy sponsors of this center, continuing for years and years and years to come. This was really a legacy program, and wow, what a legacy. So we'll now go, the ushers want to come forth and start collecting. And as we read our giving statement together, I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
Sing with me. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you. 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 Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything.
All right, and so now we invite you to full lunch in Carter Hall, and Adrian Madden will be holding prayer circle in our own room. So if you'd like some prayer, stop by and work with Adrian there. And now it's time for us to circle up as best we can with the configuration of the room, and we'll sing our way out, and George will lead us in song as we sing our way out of the Sunday celebration service.
Here we go. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as a power, family all are we. We will walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Something wonderful happened at CSLB today, and that CSLB family came together in faith and family and friendship and a little bit of fun, I hope. And so I like to remind us today to think about this week that term from Ernest Holmes' book when he talked about the unfoundedness of our soul. and how in the unfoundedness of our soul, we can come to create the foundry of anything we want to manifest in life. So this week, let's think about the unfoundedness of our soul and how that can become the groundedness of our life on earth when we create that boundary of our soul to create faith and love and light and truth and beauty and hope. And together we say, and so it is. If you haven't eaten too many cookies, there's lunch in Carter Hall. If you grab a plate, and then we'll come back in here to eat. So grab a plate and